We're going to look at multiplying decimals today. So I'm going to show you two different methods that I would consider using when multiplying decimals. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first version, which is probably the quickest way to do the question on this one, because these are just dealing with small numbers. And then I'm going to show you a different way, but you can apply the first way to the second one, and I'll explain that as we go through. So if I was to multiply 0.3 by 0.8, I would get rid of the 0 points and just multiply them as normal, ordinary numbers, so ignore them. So I'm going to do the calculation 3 times 8. So I know the answer is 24. So I know that a 2 and a 4 need to be in my answer. So I would look now at the numbers in the question originally, and I would count all together how many numbers are after the decimals. So I've got 1 here and 1 here. So there are 2 after the decimal point. So I know in my answer there have to be 2. So if I've got 0.3 times 0.8, and I know I need a 2 and a 4, so I need 2 numbers after the decimal. So there's my 1, 2. So therefore my decimal point has to go there. So it would be 0.24. Okay, now the next one's slightly more complicated because obviously it's bigger numbers. Okay, so you could do this in exactly the same way as this. So you would do 29 times 36. You would do whatever method you would do for long multiplication, Napier's bones, grid method, okay, or just traditional way. And then you would count how many numbers are after the decimal point. There are 2, so you would put it 2 in. Okay, I'm going to show you another way using Napier's bones. So if you're familiar with Napier's bones, you could use this method. So I would draw out my grid. Okay, I've got to have 3 across because I've got 0.29. Drawing my diagonals. Okay, so I've got 0.29 and 36 down the side. So I'm going to do my multiplications now. So this is 0 and this is 0 because anything times 0 is 0. So this box I got 2 times 3, which is 6. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 6s are 54. 2 6s are 12. Now I would do what we normally would, and we add up the diagonals starting from the right hand side. So we've got 4. 7 and 7 is 14. Put the 4 down, carry the 1. 8, 9, 10, 0, carry the 1, and there's a 1 there and a 0. Okay, so now what I would do is I would be looking at where the decimal point is. Okay, and what you do is you draw a line from the decimal point downwards, and if there was another decimal, so say it was here, I would draw that one going across, and they would meet there, and they would go down this diagonal. Okay, however, it isn't going to meet, the decimal actually is going to be here because it's 36.0. So if we do it like that, this one would come across here, this one would come across here, so it's going to come along this diagonal here. So this is where my decimal point is going to be. Okay, so I've got 10.44. Now if I just double check that, I should have 2 numbers after the decimal point, and there are 2 in the question. So that does work. Okay, you don't have to use that method, that's absolutely fine. Any other method, so you could use this one I did here. So you could just work out 29 times 36 to get 1044 and then figure out where to put in the decimal. Okay, you have got the questions now.